Hey y'all, today's lesson is going to focus on advancing our studies of sixteenths with the click. In order to make that happen today, we're going to use a technique that's called tetrachords. What? Tetrachords? You're telling me now I have more chords that I have to learn? I'm going to tell you the good news is that tetrachords does not refer to chord shapes or even four notes that you play together as a chord. It refers to a method of using scales in four-note sequences on your neck. These pair really well with sixteenths because our four notes in the tetrachord will land with each quarter note on the click. It's a great tool for advancing your speed studies as well as advancing your muscle memory with different scale patterns on the neck. Today I'm going to show you a couple exercises using tetrachords, and at the end I'll put on a little distortion and show you some licks that you can play with this technique that can hopefully give you a chance to have some fun with it. The scale pattern that I'm electing to play for my exercises today is going to be a G natural minor scale, although I'm going to use a stretch fingering for that, just to break things up a bit. I'm also going to play all of the notes in the range, but I'm going to start and end on my root note so I keep the sound of the minor scale that I'm playing in my ears at all times. A tetrachord to begin with is a four-note sequence, so it's like ascending the scale in groups of four notes. When I get all the way up, I'm going to reverse the pattern in this case. The idea is that I'm going to follow with tetrachords up and down the scale, following the direction that I happen to be heading at that time. If this technique is too difficult to do as a continuous exercise, try putting breaks in between each tetrachord. Here's my quarters, eighths, sixteenths. Up chromatically to get more exercise out of it and start on A flat. First chord, eighth notes, exercise. For those of you who might have seen my interval studies, I can get more out of this exercise by keeping the direction of my tetrachord static, whether I'm going up or down the scale. That means that if I'm coming down the scale, I can still be using an ascending pattern, and coming down with it might sound something like this. In the same way, I can use a descending tetrachord to go up and down the scale, which can also increase the difficulty of the exercise and sound something like this. One more variation of this exercise that's really helpful is actually to start with a group of three and then follow it up with four notes. This will put the accenting in a different place, and it also works differently on your alternate picking if that's how you're playing it. Quarter notes, eighth notes, then group of three first. increase the tempo on the click to 120 BPMs, and I'm going to show you the same exercise, also with a little bit of distortion on the guitar, and I'll add some palm muting so you can hear what that might sound like with this technique. Here we go. Quarter notes, eighth notes, Another idea I can implement with distortion and with this sort of technique is I can start with a hammer-on pull-off and then 4 notes of a tetrachord, and it can kind of create some cool phrasing within what I'm playing. Because I'm using a stretch fingering of my natural minor scale, I can actually do this across all the strings, and it sounds kind of impressive and fun.